Is America headed towards a civil war? 25 states have not joined Texas Governor Greg Abbott's effort to defend the Texas border. Now that the Biden administration has done a complete disaster defending the border in any capacity whatsoever, they have almost intentionally, and I'll get to that in a moment, allowed millions of illegal immigrants to come into the border. I believe the number is now 8 million since Biden took office, which is insane. And I have my reasons as to why they're doing that, and I'll get to that in a minute. But it is surprising to me that the Republicans have now finally grown some sort of backbone, because the Republican Party have always been the party of cowards. And I hate to say this because, I don't like the Republican Party, but I guess I will side more with the Republicans than I will with the Democrats, because the Democrats have just gone so insane. But so the Democrats getting power, you have to give it to them. The Democrats play to win. The Republicans play to lose. So the Democrats getting power, and the first thing they do, they go after Trump is Hitler, blah, 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 blah. They go after anyone who ever associated with Trump. They go after Trump's lawyers, Trump's family, everyone Trump in any way whatsoever. Anyone who's ever had association with Trump, they go after them, and they try to destroy their lives. And a lot of times they are successful at it. And they try to imprison them and everything. What do the Republicans do when they get in power? Well, we're going to send a strongly worded letter to the Biden administration about the failures of the Biden administration. Right, because the Republican Party has no backbone, and they are complete cowards. And in fact, I believe a lot of them, the Mitch McConnell types, actually work against the Republican Party, and they're probably Democrats in disguise. They're Democrats with an R on their name, because it would be unpopular for them to be Democrats in their states, which are probably very red states, and they have to run as Republicans, but they're really Democrats with a Republican mask on, which is disgusting. But anyway, so finally, the Republicans are doing something. Now, what is the Biden administration going to do about it? So earlier, I was watching a video of Vosh. So Vosh is this big YouTuber and streamer, and he was talking about how he believes, and he's a far leftist. He's one of these far leftist socialist types, or this far leftist communist types. He's basically ideologically in the same camp as Hassan. So he's one of those guys. And he was talking about how the Biden administration should completely take control of the national border of Texas, and how the Biden administration, how the White House has jurisdiction to take control of the Texas National Guard, which is the troops that Texas Governor Greg Abbott is sending to the border so they can protect the border, because the Biden administration wants to let all these people in. And again, I'll get to that in a moment. So why is Vosh saying this? And also he was saying how even if the other states support Texas Governor Greg Abbott, actually, I'm not sure if he said this, but I'm not sure if I'm blanking on this, but he was saying how are you going to go up against the Pentagon and the military? Basically, he was saying if civil war does happen, there's going to be a puff of smoke and nothing will come out of it. Basically, it will end in like a day, because the Pentagon is so powerful, and the Texas National the Texas National Guard only consists of like 1,500 troops or something like that. And okay, so here are my thoughts on that. So Vosh, if that is correct, then what difference does it make? Because what happens when, and I think this is something that Vosh is not considering, what happens when the Florida National Guard and the Texas National Guard and the Red States National Guard says, no, we're not going to abide by the rules of the Biden administration? Why would we abide by the rules of the Biden administration when the Biden administration has ignored plenty of rules since he took office, and he's abusing his power to break laws and let illegal immigrants flow into this country completely unchecked? So why would we abide by the Biden rules and the White House? So what happens basically when the National Guard of all these states decides they're going to go rogue? What then? And so I think this is why the Biden administration has not yet, by the time I was making this video, has not yet seized control of the national of the National Guard. Is it the National Guard? Of the National Guard of Texas or any state. And even if Vosh is correct in saying that the White House has jurisdiction to do this if they wanted to, that's why I don't believe that the would or that they will, because they're running into a big risk here, which is if you believe, like Walsh and like Hassan or the Young Turks or many of these people that constantly criticize Biden, if you believe that Biden is so weak, okay, and you believe that he needs to flex his power, okay, then what happens? And I think this is what the Biden administration is thinking. Maybe even Biden himself, if he remembers to think about it, or if he even knows what day it is. What happens when he does seize power and they say, no, we are not going to listen to you. We are going to break the rules, just like you have been breaking every rule, and just like you're trying to break rules to let illegal immigration flow into this country, which is illegal. We're not going to listen to you. What happens then? Civil war? No. In an election year, all of this chaos? I don't think the Biden administration wants that. So realistically, I think what's going to come out of this is the Biden administration is just going to cave in some way. They're going to cave to Texas. And the Biden administration is probably going to break some kind of deal. He's probably going to have some kind of deal with Governor Greg Abbott. What that deal looks like, I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. But I know that recently they are trying to pass a bill that basically says, and this is so scummy. So what the Biden administration is trying to do, they're trying to pass a bill that gives them more immigration judges. The Republicans, if they're smart, they're not going to fall for this. But again, we're talking about the Republican Party, full of cowards, no backbone, no vision. I think what the Biden administration wants is to allow or to legalize more illegal immigrants, or as many illegal immigrants as they can before the 2024 presidential election in November. So in this bill that they're trying to pass, they would grant Biden more immigration judges, which would give them more power to faster legalize or to more quickly legalize as many illegal immigrants that are here as possible. Which, by the way, and Elon Musk was talking about this, you don't even need to prove that you're requesting or why you're requesting asylum. Anybody can come in through the border and claim asylum, which is one of the major downsides. So, like, if I came into this country legally, I'm a fool basically, because all I could have done was come in illegally and claim asylum, because I don't have to provide any proof whatsoever for me to be granted citizenship after that. Even if the process takes a little bit, I'm still going to be granted citizenship. So there's a major flaw in the system right now that is very easy to take advantage of if you're one of these people that wants to come to this country for whatever reason, whether that is for good reasons or for bad reasons. Like that man that came to the border that said, you are going to know my name. He's on video saying, you are going to know my name. You're going to find out my name. You're going to know who I am. Basically, very clearly a threat. And of course, the FBI should go after him. But will they go after him? Probably not. So I think I think if the Republicans are smart, they're going to say no to this deal. They're going to say no to this bill. And people need to push the Republican Party to say no to this bill. And then Biden said, well, if we pass this bill, it would give me the power to call for an emergency at the border and shut down the border. To call for like I forgot, but it's like he's going to call for an emergency. He's going to give him the power to call for an emergency situation and shut down the border. They can shut down the border already, and they can do all of the things that Biden supposedly wants to do. They can already do it. He can already do it, and they in Congress can already do it. So it doesn't grant any new power to them. This is just something to it's like a piece of paper that you're flexing to the public for no reason. It has no real power in it, no new things. It's just for optics. So Elon Musk, of course, has expressed his support of Texas, which I believe rightly so, he should do. And it's surprising that actually this is not only a Republican issue, but you also have Democrats coming out in support of Texas. You have RFK Jr. coming out saying Texas is right in doing this because the Biden administration has done a complete disaster at defending the border. He is illegally allowing all these people to come into the border. So what do you expect Texas to do? And then you have Elon Musk saying this is clearly intentional what they're doing, because there is no way. How can you be this incompetent at the border? How can you know how bad? By the way, so the polls are saying now, the polls are showing that this is going to be the major issue going into 2024. So if you know that this is going to be the major issue going into 2024, and this has been going on for what, like a few, so how many months now has this been like a major focus, at least on the Republican media, which is not a lot, but it's big. And certainly, for how long has this been going on, even without it having spotlight on the media? And the Biden administration has done nothing about it. Yeah, this does seem to be intentional, and we all know why. Because I wouldn't be surprised if the Biden administration, come November, right around election time, puts out an executive order saying, we hereby grant citizenship to all the illegal immigrants that are now in the country. But from now on, we are going to defend the border. So basically, if you're already here illegally, we're going to give you citizenship from this executive order right before the November election. And again, I'll get to that in a moment. But from now on, we're going to defend the border. From now on, we're going to care about defending the border. No, you're clearly doing this for votes, and don't be surprised if that actually happens. If Biden puts out an executive order granting citizenship to all these people right before the election, because he's doing so terribly at the polls. Biden is doing terrible in the polls against Trump. He's clearly losing by even swing states. I think Biden is losing every single swing state right now. So, are you surprised he's doing this at the border? I'm not. And you even have people, very well-respected names like Bill Ackman, who was a Democrat up until the whole university thing, chaos that happened recently with the DEI and the Claudine Gay, the president of Harvard, her being fired because of in big part because of the efforts of Bill Ackman, which he was successful at. Even Bill Ackman came out saying, the Biden administration, I don't know what the Biden administration is doing. This has to be intentional. So even like Bill Ackman is speaking out against this, which is good. It's really good. And he's not a Republican. He's been a lifelong Democrat. But after seeing after paying attention to politics, after the whole Harvard thing and the Penn State University and the whole three universities, it was Harvard, Penn State University, and I'm blanking on the other one right now, but that was the third one. He started paying attention to politics, and now he left the Democrat Party. And he even says it in his Twitter. Someone said to him, "So you're saying all of this, and you're still a Democrat?" And he said, "No, I am not a Democrat." So you even have well-respected names like Bill Ackman, who is a billionaire and also a Harvard graduate, I believe. And what does it say? What does it say to you and to the average person? The Democrat Party is losing a lot of support from this, and the only support they're gonna get from the only support they're gonna keep at the end, it's gonna be the far leftists like Vosh, like Hassan, that don't even like the Biden administration, but they hate Trump so much they would never vote for Trump or anything even close to that. They would never vote for a Republican, which is ironic because they call the right a cult. But now I'm getting into different waters here. So, yes, I believe at the end Biden is going to come to some sort of agreement with Texas, and I believe the left or the crazy left is going to have a problem with this, and they're going to chant how weak Biden is, how Biden caved to Texas and to the Republicans, and how bad of a precedent this has established now. If the red states can simply abandon the rules and go rogue against a Democrat White House, basically. But I don't necessarily agree with that. But I see no other realistic way out of this. I think they're going to have to cave in some way, because I think no matter what they do, this is a lose-lose situation for Biden. He will either cave and make a deal and go out of this the peaceful way and not ignite a fire, even more burning fire in the country, that's going to really hurt him even more in the polls. But I think this is going to be the more quiet way out of this, and I think that's the best thing for the Biden administration, to work out some sort of deal to take care of the border with Governor Greg Abbott. And then you have the conspiracies that Greg Abbott is actually doing this because he wants to run for president in 2024, or he wants to, what is it, or for some show of political, basically like for a show for politics or something. I don't believe that. I do believe he simply just cares about the border because ultimately all those illegal immigrants coming through the border and the Biden administration doing nothing about it affects Texas and also ultimately affects all of the U.S. because they're not just taking this; they're taking those illegal immigrants, as many as they can at least, and they're sending them to sanctuary cities like New York, like Chicago, and now they don't even know what they're going to do with those illegal immigrants. Chicago and New York, they've run out of hotels to put them in. They're asking now people to house them in their private homes. Um, Ironic that they're even sanctuary states and that the Democrats want open borders because all of these rich Democrats in power, they all live in gated communities and they would never take illegal immigrants to their homes. But of course, they're asking other people, they're asking regular people to take illegal immigrants in their home. It's ridiculous. It's laughable. It's laughable. If there weren't if not for double standards, the Democrats would have no standards. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it there.